Hello and welcome to this video. This is a video that I've been thinking about for a long time. I've written a lot of things about it, but never put it into words and on a camera. And a lot of people may think it is interesting, and a lot of people may think it's nonsense. So let's try it. So the title is you are a simple equation, and we'll get to that at the end, okay? But let's start with the first controversial aspect of this. Let's start with a question. Do you tell your brain what to think, or does your brain tell you what to think? Simple but complex question. So do you tell your brain what to do, or does your brain tell you what to do? Do you tell your brain what to think? Means what? It means that when we analyze what the brain is, it becomes, I am the brain. It's just a brain and the body's following. So basically, when we stretch this analogy, we think of, let's say somebody is completely crazy. Okay, somebody's completely nuts. And they, basically they're running naked in the streets, whatever. Can they be blamed? Obviously, most people say no, he's crazy. But by the same token, somebody that has so who told them to run crazy and run naked in the streets? It's obviously his brain, okay? So he didn't tell his brain what to do. By the same logic, if somebody goes out and kills an innocent person, who told him to do that? Is it not his brain? Is he then responsible? Why is case one and case two, why are they different, and why would they come to different conclusions as to who's responsible? So basically what this means, as I said, it would be controversial, but it's completely scientific. The brain is us. The brain is me. But I do not control my brain. Meaning, I often give an example. I say, okay, if, let's say, Hitler was given a different brain, was given my brain, and I like people, I help people, I love animals and kids and stuff. But if he were given my brain, would he act the way he did? Probably not. Did he choose his brain before he was born? Of course not. So basically, he had no control over who he was. And we're going to get to the second part of this, which is the conditioning. But let's just stick with the brain for a second. So Hitler had no choice in which brain he was given. Now, Einstein, on the other hand, was given a brilliant brain, okay? So, does Einstein then have any merit in being so brilliant? Does he have any merit? He didn't choose the brain he was given, and he had no say-so into what kind of brain he would get. Had he gotten a brain like mine, he wouldn't have created or discovered the theory of general relativity or special relativity or anything. So does he have any merit? Again, these are philosophical questions that people have to think about. And answering yes or no or getting outraged or anything like that is silly, because that's not what we're looking for here. We're looking for deep conversation and deep thought. And looking at things from different angles. So basically, what this means is Charlie Chaplin would be the same thing. He was born a brilliant comedian, but if he were given my brain or somebody else's brain or Einstein's brain or Hitler's brain or Jeffrey Dahmer's or whatever, he would have been different. So basically, are we really responsible for any of our acts? Now, I will specify that, of course, in the realm in which we're living right now, in our reality, of course, Jeffrey Dahmer or Hitler or whatever have to be punished. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about in the moral realm in which we're living. We're saying, is he really responsible in a different realm? Yes, he has to be imprisoned, he has to be whatever, but that's not the issue. The issue is he really responsible ultimately and fundamentally? That's really the question we're trying to ask here. So when we understand that Einstein or Hitler or Charlie Chaplin had their brains interchanged, well, we'd have had different outcomes, obviously. So now when you understand that, we understand also that there's the other part, like I said earlier, which is the conditioning. One's conditioning is primordial in the eventual outcome of who they become. I am basically the fruit of where I was born, the brain I was given, and my conditioning. So let's analyze that a little closer. Let's take a look at anybody. If you, the audience member, the person watching this, had you been born, let's say you're born in the United States, and you were born and you were 1 day old. And when you were 1 day old, your parents died in a train wreck or something. And you were adopted in Kuwait from day one. Would you have the same mentality as what you have today in the United States? Your beliefs, and let's bear in mind that you are 100% convinced that you're correct, okay? So would you have had the same thoughts, the same opinion, the same belief system and everything else? So if you want to try that out, anybody that's now living in the United States can imagine the reverse. If a kid in Kuwait had been born to a parent couple that died after 1 day, and that kid from Kuwait had been picked up and was moved to the United States to live with a Christian family, would that kid ever behave like a Kuwaiti kid, or would he behave like an American kid? Would he have the same beliefs? Would he be Muslim? Would he whatever? So obviously, the conditioning makes all the difference. So this brings me to my equation. The equation is that you and I and everybody else, we're the result of our genetics, the biology, what we were born with, multiplied by the conditioning equals me at this moment. Okay? Had I had a terrible marriage, I would have been different. A beautiful marriage, I would have been different, everything. And this variable part, which is the conditioning, because I cannot change my brain. So the original biology cannot be changed, but it can with an operation or something. But since let's just say that cannot be changed, the only variable here is my conditioning, where I was born and things like that. So let's push further into that. We have to remember that none of us has chosen our names. The parents who were born to the country, the age, well, we were born in the 12th century or the 23rd century, and none of us chose the culture, the language, the religion, nothing, okay? And yet when we're adults, we're quite certain that our way is the best. Our country is the best. Our religion is the best for most part. Of course, people change. But it is very strange that you stick to your guns and you say, no, this is the righteous way. This is the right religion. This is the right belief system. This is the right culture. This is the right food. And in fact, you're just like an empty cup that we put something into. Like you take a glass and you put Coke and let it ferment for a second, or an orange juice and you let it sit for a second. And that's you. You had nothing to do with what was put inside this cup. And that's me. I was born, I'm the cup. The shape of the cup is my biology, and the conditioning is what was put inside. Had I been born in Mexico, and then I would have had a different language, different mentality, and things like that. So basically, since things evolved, the equation is biology multiplied by conditioning equals me, and that conditioning depends on what I call entropy. Like in physics, there's the entropic principle, which is chaos, and let's call it randomness. I am here at this moment because I met some woman on the internet that had a coffee with me, and we got married, and we had a kid, and whatever, and my parents had me because they met somewhere. So all of that is randomness. And then my daughter is going to come out, is going to commit a crime, is going to kill a guy that had I not met this woman. Anyway, all these things. So this randomness is another variable. So we are all a fruit of that. So this leads me and brings me to the issue of free will. A lot of people talk about free will. In this equation, there's no room for free will per se, because technically you are this equation. You change a variable and you have a different outcome. I see a little kitten. I want to take care of it because the brain I was given multiplied by how I was raised. Well, it's fine. I'm going to take care of it. So it's not random. It's not free will. It's the result of this upbringing. Now you take the opposite. I was raised in the forest, and we eat kittens and whatever. Well, I see a kitten, I see food. So I would behave differently. It's the same thing. So had anything changed, my biology or my conditioning, I would have had a different, this meeting with this kitten would have had a different outcome. So in this sense, there is no free will. There really isn't. And it is something to be meditated upon. And don't just say yes, no, yes, no. Think about it. And you may think and develop new ideas about life. And you'll realize that you're not what you think you are. And things are not as black and white as you may think. And I hope this brought you some thought and push you to consider life from a different angle. It may make you smarter because you're just going to develop things that I'm not even aware of myself. So let's never stop thinking. Let's never stop thinking. If you like this video, which would surprise me, share it with others and talk about it. And I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.